Welcome to my channel Tools for Ascension by Wolfgang, and today we will be clearing any blocks that are there in your career, especially blocks for Lightworkers. So many of my clients, come to me, and many of them have 3D jobs, so-called normie jobs, and they find there is something better for them. They don't know what it is, and of course they feel stuck. And of course some people don't have a job at all, and they are in, great even financial need. That's no fun. And then there are, many of my clients, are spiritual teachers in healing, and they have maybe a spiritual job, but no clients. Or they find that they self-sabotage themselves all the time. And some of them wonder whether they lack the discipline. Or even, especially for the spiritual teachers, but that kind of is for all the careers, You have self-doubt. Can you actually do that? Do you have the skills, etc.? So, and then of course you might have just, pie in the sky ideals, so you want to save the world, but you can't get out of bed in the morning, or even pay the rent. So maybe you're just not grounded, for a wide variety of reasons, and do not have life force, to make it through the day. So many times, there are many multi-layered reasons. Sometimes this might have been a planned soul lesson for you. We will find out in a guided meditation, or you took some vows, of poverty or never to be a healer again, especially when you got tortured and persecuted by the institutions, and, many times there was trauma around being rich and successful, because you get cursed by jealous people. You may get robbed, you may get backstabbed. People get jealous when you're successful. A lot of so-called darks that nipping on your heels. And well, this trauma, many times there also came curses, again of the jealous ones. Or even, vampiristic curses where people, try to, steal your life force, or steal your skills. And there might, I also find that, some dark ancestors sometimes, sold their descendants, for, their own prosperity, to some demoniac beings, and then all your prosperity, went to this ancestor in his incarnations, and you struggle. And, many, many times I find there are enemies of you or of your family that make sure that you suffer. This could be old feuds. Many times, these are slaves, that got abused, or whatever, from warrior dooms. So in the guided meditation that's coming now, we will go over, a whole laundry list of, let's say, false light templates, negative programs, spells, and curses. And so, we shall find out, if you are affected by certain curses, or have affected others, which would be karma, and then, have it cleared by divine grace and forgiveness. Yeah, this is important. And, like always, accept only what resonates with you. And also, do not drive any heavy machinery, especially cars. And give me a thumbs up in gratitude, for what I'm doing here for free for you. All right, and you probably want to sit, on an office chair, nicely leaning back, but with a straight spine, feet touching the ground. And some of you just want to go to rest, and they can lay down and then pass out. It's a great way to go to sleep. You surely have benefit from it. And most likely you're going to go to sleep. And right now, let's just ask that everything that happens in this guided meditation and from this guided meditation is going to be for our highest good, in divine harmony, with the most benevolent outcomes. Very important that you nod your head or in your mind say Amen, so you under, this protection. And we also asked that, whatever we're doing here has maximum impact, on our timelines, shifting us into the higher and best timelines. And now we asked our spirit guides and absolute source to fill our room as well as our force field with this golden light and of love and nourishment. Maybe even your car, wherever you are, and I hope you're parked, and smile, 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 smile. And now we also asked, Mother Gaia and your spirit guides and your subterranean aspects of love and light to clear any sabotage from your grounding cords, from those meridians and nadis, as well as those chakras there at your feet and your root, and, all the way up. Please, clear any dark programs on there, any trauma that keeps us disconnected from Gaia. Just agree to this. And then we ask that we get reinstalled our optimal routing systems. And have those connected to the perfect ley lines, crystal grids, and also ore deposit, like gold deposits in your area, whatever is for your highest good vibrationally. Pretty please. Amen. And also please connect us to the most appropriate social subterranean memory complex down under there. And smile. And around now you should probably feel a nice shift in your upper body as you're tuning in. Well, remember, there's always a 5-second delay, very important. And we ask them to put a beautiful iridescent rainbow around our hearts. And again, it takes about 5 seconds for that to manifest. And now we also call in love to the dolphins to bring in some playful, giggly energy. Amen. And they're really good with energy, so we asked them to also create like an inner sanctuary-like bubble that is like a womb around us. And now we also ask that the pure, the uncontaminated aspects of the element hook up with us. Amen. And as they're coming in, we also invite the rose, the lotus, pink and blue, papyrus, and Tulsi Devi, and Lily into our inner sanctuary. And we also ask for pearl energy. And the unicorns, they make excellent rainbows. We also ask them to sanctify our area, inner sanctuary and around with their rainbows. Amen. Amen. And keep on smiling like an idiot, breathe deeply, very deeply. The deeper you breathe, the more the love, that you can project, receive and give. The more you smile, the sweeter the love. If you don't smile, if you frown, you start shuffling around dark energy. Not a good idea. So keep on smiling, yeah. Alright, so tongue to the palate now. And smile, and we connect to the star nations now of love and light. All the good ones above 5th dimension, 6th dimension and up. 4th and 5th dimension are really war-torn areas. Not for newbies right now. So we call on our star nations, where we incarnated of love and light, not the compromised ones, to come in there now. There might be Pleiadian aspects or Syrian aspects, or as long as they're of love and light and approved by your high self. Here the energy comes in, and we ask them to please purify, and remove any sabotage technology from us. That could be vibrational frequencies, clouds of dark chi, portals clogged up, programs, inverters, reverse crown of thorns. They works, they know what to do. They have been working with me for a while, so we give them permission for the highest good, of course. Amen. And we also asked that, to clear those templates, again, that disconnect you from your high self aspects, and also prevent these templates from being re-implanted. So make this change permanent. And also take any entities or programs that try to reinstate those negative templates to the highest courts of divine justice. And with highest courts of divine justice, I mean the ones that did not get infiltrated by the dark side. Very important, there has been a lot of infiltration going on, not just in politics of humans, but also on the higher galactic levels. And so we asked souls to make sure that we sidestep these fake, or compromise courts of divine justice. Ooh, yeah, see? It's kicking in now, a lot stronger. And then we also asked that any jinn programs that are meant to block healers, prophets, and channelers be cleared. That these programs that interrupt, perfect channeling, etc., be removed now. And again, make this a permanent change, please, so they cannot be put back, in its place, even variations of this. Amen. And smile, smile and breathe deeply. And now also we ask the spirit guides to activate our Stargate codes, so we get updates, help, strength and healing again. Amen, amen, amen. And there's a symptom, might feel energies moving over you, tingling, hair standing on end, even movement of the body. Yeah, just don't fight it, just go with it, but make sure you smile. Even burping might happen. Burping and variations of that. Alright. And now we invoke the attention of your high self. And we ask the high self to start communicating with you. Let's do a simple code. A yes would be an upflow of energy from your heart, to the head, like an uppity feeling like this. We ask your high self to do so now for you. Amen. And now also, a no would be a feeling of, chi traveling from your heart into your feet, like a downer feeling, feels like that. Okay, and now, it's kicking in. And now we asked your high self to give you a nice clean no now. Amen. Alright. And you might ask, hey Wolfgang, how can you make us feel, the up and down feeling of a yes and no? Well, if you're sensitive, I can affect your chakras. That's one of the skills I have learned, which I use for healing, for diagnosing people, for helping people. It's just a little demonstration of what can be done. Okay. And now let's start getting into it with questions to the high self. And we ask that the special protection by the real Archangel Michael and by all the beings that, are for love and light and truth. So first of all, is it true that your higher self wants you to change your job? Yes or no? Is there something better? Yes or no? And along which lines would it be better? Pretty please. Now, if you have a spiritual job, or you have a job at all, where you need clients, and you have no clients. First of all, is this due to self-sabotage? Yes or no? Is this maybe a lack of self-discipline? Yes or no? Is this due to vows that you did in this lifetime or past lifetimes? Never to work with people again, or this or that? Yes or no? Are there any aspects from your own life that, block you from kind of doing this kind of work and having clients? Yes or no? Are there any aspects from other people? Like their vengeful ghost trying to block your business, career, and clients? Yes or no? And how many are there? And we like to have those now brought either to the Arcturian Love Healing and Ascension temples, or maybe the courts of divine justice, depending, on how they conduct themselves. Are they ready to forgive and ask for forgiveness? And want to go to the heavens, or do they insist on revenge or whatever their point of view? Then they have to go to the courts of divine justice, the uncompromised ones, and show them the timelines, then, have them go their way. Amen. Is there any self-doubt that is affecting you? Yes or no? Is there some traumatic experience in this lifetime that installed this self-doubt in you? You know, maybe in school something bad happens. Yes or no? Or is there self-doubt from past lifetime leading over? Yes or no? Now show us what happened in this lifetime to create self-doubt in us. Pretty please. Amen. And maybe a few of you can see, get a glimpse. Otherwise you can always follow up later in a private session or on your own. Then let's have, the most important incarnation from a past lifetime where self-doubt was implanted into you. Shown. Amen. And there can also be spells and curses that, make you doubt yourself. Let's say your high self gives you a nice clean thought as for guidance, and then immediately this program, spell or curse, will invert this and pitch you the opposite idea. So you hear A, and then you hear opposite A, and then you doubt yourself and don't do anything. So that's really, something that can sabotage you at every step. So are you affected by those? Yes or no? Then you like to have this cleared now, all these incidents as much as possible without us having to look at the details right now. Amen, amen, amen. Just agree to that. Many things have to be looked at least on principle, so that the lesson is learned. And many times, you have panic issues around career. Everything is on the line. And do I do this or that? What is the outcome? Many times, you have to move and sell houses or break up relationship. So, are there any spells, curses, or aspects from past lifetimes that cause you panic issues around career and money? Yes or no? And we asked your high self to kind of show you the most important thing for you right now. Amen. And if you're really psychic, an idea may pop into your mind, or a vision, or a memory, or a dream. Remember in a dream. These are all ways in which communication can come. And we ask that be cleared as much as possible, or that we later on can follow up, in a more focused way. Now, many times we came in, with great mission. Let's call this high in the sky idealist. You want to save the world. But you got so wounded, at birth or through your parents or school system, the system, let's say, the dark forces, that you can't get out of bed in the morning, or pay the rent. So, maybe you're not grounded for a wide variety of reasons, and do not have enough life force, to make it through the day. Let's see, is this one of the reasons? While you're stuck, yes or no? So let's ask your high self, what is the reason, the main reason for your lack of grounding? Please show us now. Amen. And you might have gotten some info, but let's just condense this into a really simple yes or no question. Did you give up on life and do not want to be here in the 3D world? Basically sleep the day away, yes or no? Now the root cause for this, is this due to trauma from this lifetime, yes or no? And if it is, or the worst, which is it in this lifetime? We like to have this shown to us now. And smile so it doesn't drag you down. And of course we like to have that cleared, or later on follow up on that. Now, do you just don't want to be here because of trauma from past lifetimes that has bled over? Yes or no? And let's ask for you to be shown, the trauma that you can stomach the most, and to be transmuted now. Amen. And we give permission to have that cleared now. Amen. 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 Well, is this trauma maybe a planned soul lesson? Planned before you incarnated to enrich the soul with experiences? Yes or no? Many times that is the wounded healer thingy. You get wounded in some way, abused or whatever. Learn how to heal it, and then you are somebody that can assist others because you're a veteran in these affairs. It's called the shaman's death. So what is the lesson? If this was a planned soul lesson, what did your soul want to learn and experience? Could you please let us know? And let's ask just a simple yes or no question. Did you get it? Did you get the lesson? Did you learn it? Yes or no? So, if you got the lesson, we like to have that loop, this karmic loop, around that lesson cleared now. It's just baggage, it's not needed anymore. There is tons of other stuff that needs our attention. So please clear this unnecessary baggage now, dear spirit guide, source, for the highest good. Amen, amen, amen. And many times we, as healers and lightbringers got coaxed, forced or persuaded, tricked into taking vows. Yeah, like giving your power away to the local abtissing, bishop or guru, spiritual master, or the military, or your slave master, or your madame, or pimp. and they get our energy and good luck, etc., and we are screwed here. So we like to have these vows cleared now, and those aspects of us that got stuck to these vows and given power away, we like to have those liberated now. Amen, 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 and our power returned to us in the most auspicious way. Amen, amen, amen. Yes, it just give permission, and if there's a big shift of energy within 5 seconds, probably there was something going on. No question about it. Now, many people, without power, they had been sacrificed in past lifetimes, and cursed, of course, so that all, their power goes to, whatever the beneficiary of that sacrifice. And then also, as generally as a black magic practice, they get disconnected from Source. They're victims, of course. Source will empower them and so on and on and on. Keep them no longer as a victim. So, did something like this happen to you? Yes or no? Did something like this also happen to your ancestors and still affecting you? Yes or no? And did you and your ancestors did something like this to others? Basically, you vampired other people. Yes or no? Yeah, again, we just turn to absolute source, and we like to have all these trauma, entanglement, and pain and suffering cleared with mercy, 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 pretty please, grace and mercy. Amen. Now, coming back to, while this clearing is going on, to a more physical, level of why you're grounding, which will give you power for your career and being in harmony with the world, is, let's say, interrupted or compromised. It says asked yes or no. Is there trauma from bastinade? Yes or no? And bastinade is where, your feet, the soles of your feet get hit and ripped. Oh, that is where all the acupressure points are. And, you pretty much have to go everywhere. So, you can't walk anymore for a long period of times. Imagine having to crawl everywhere on your knees. And of course, your acupressure points at your feet get screwed up, all the meridians get screwed up, and it hurts like hell because you have very, very many nerves at your feet. Alright, so any more trauma from bastinades, yes or no? Yeah, you like to have that cleared as much as possible. Amen, amen, amen. And another thing also that affects the arms, not just the legs. Is there any blocks, caused by shackles or rings or clamps, around your wrists, arms, legs, throat, or ankles? Yes or no? Well, we like to have that cleared, and where you and ancestors did this to others, we like to have that cleared too, pretty please. Very good idea, And those ghosts then that got stuck to this torture brought into the ascension temples. Amen, amen, amen. Love, healing, and ascension temples, to be precise. Now, a lot of root chakras get also completely destroyed or compromised through rape and impalement. So we like to have, well, first of all, have you been affected by that? Yes or no? And did you and your ancestors affect others like that? Yes or no? So we like to have all these traumas cleared now, and apologize to our victims, and we like to have everybody brought to the perfect ascension temples and helped with forgiveness and insight. Amen, amen, amen. And, well, is your career, parked on hold or, not doing so good because there are portals and cords or tentacles through which your life force is being harvested? It could be from the throat many times or even your head. But then most of the times it is also your solar plexus and your root chakra, and then maybe many times also your second chakra. So any portals and cords keeping you down, keeping you sucked dry, yes or no? That's always illegal, so we like to have, these disconnected and perpetrators brought to the highest courts of divine justice now. And smile, and pump love to those divine beings that are helping you out now. Yeah. Now, a lot of my clients, have trouble because, some of their ancestors sold their prosperity and life force to the dark side. Of course, not only my clients, but also, the rest of their whatever descendants they had. And of course, this is illegal, but hey, it affects them. So, are you affected by ancestors, selling your good luck, prosperity, and life force to the dark side? And many times this was done through sacrifice. Yes or no? Yeah, we like to have those aspects rescued, and then those that sacrificed you, taken to the courts of divine justice. Amen, amen, amen. And then whatever got stolen, from you in life force, good luck, we like to have this returned, of course, after purification, and many times our life force was used for dark deeds. And then we get the karma. It's like somebody is using your gun to shoot somebody and you get to go to jail for that. Yeah, we like to have that cleared. And then the karma sent to those that misused and abused our stolen energy. Amen, amen, amen. There's generally a lot of bad karma involved with this. And, if you know how to vampire somebody's life force, it's a bad idea because you also absorb their darkness. And you don't want to do that. Right. Now, a big factor, with many of my clients, why they don't go anywhere, where they're stuck and frustrated at every step, especially their career, is, they, or their ancestors are most likely in past lifetime, antagonized, many times trapped or offended, fairies, dragons, unicorns, leprechauns, and other nature beings. Let's see, let's say, did you, do something like this and get cursed from these type of beings? Yes or no? Now, how about your ancestors? Did they do stuff like this too? Because you're going to get the heat for that too. Yes or no? Alright, so yeah, we like to have, the most powerful dragons of love and light, the most powerful angelic beings and ascension teams, to bring these trapped, hurt, offended beings, to the Arcturian love healing and ascension temples, and as a gesture of goodwill, reunite them with their lost loved ones. And give them the huge risen crest, showing other lifetimes, maybe where karma came over, show what they're planned for this incarnation. And then also show the sabotage, misdirection of the dark side. Amen, amen. Then help with forgiveness. And the same for those that your ancestors offended. Same process, pretty please. And you just smile and send source love. Take it from heaven and earth or from source directly. My clients know how to do so. Otherwise just smile at those that are doing the work and be grateful. And this can take quite a while, and you may have to follow up, on a private session, with something like this. This can be quite complicated. But at least there's something going on. Now also many times, we land up in the wrong profession because the intent of our parents. The typical intent is, well, we want our daughter or our son to be a lawyer or a judge or a doctor or professor, something respectable. And there you are, become like a healer or tarot reader or giving up a good career. So first of all, are you in a profession that was selected by, let's say, your authorities, parents and others? Yes or no? Now let's see what would be, 3 professions that would be really in alignment with your happiness. And so what's the most important? Just to be shown now. Amen. And let's look at the second most important option now. Amen. And let's look at the third most important option now. Amen. And of course, you like to have, these wrong programmings that are not aligned with your Dharma, with your divine purpose, cleared now, and then replaced, by your divine blueprint for this incarnation. Amen, amen, amen. Now another big thing that I constantly come across with my clients is what's called destiny swap, where through a black magic ceremony, and many of them, end with the death of the victim, their beauty, or their power, their life force, their good luck, their intelligence, whatever, their good karma, is being swapped with the person for whose, benefit that sacrifice is being done or that ceremony is being done. It's supposed to maybe you're successful, strong and beautiful, and there's this ugly guy with a lot of money, and he wants to switch, take those things, and then this beautiful guy deteriorates very fast, and the ugly guide kind of starts improving. A type of vampirism, of course, yes. So, are you the victim of a destiny swap? Yes or no? This has been done in many lifetimes, probably. So, how many destiny swaps were done on you in different incarnations? Yeah, do you like to have those cleared, pretty please? You know, and perpetrators taken to the courts of divine justice. And if you or your ancestors did something like this, we like to have this clear too. Amen, amen, amen. And you probably heard me a little kind of choking. So, you know, that shows that, you know, destiny swaps was done with me and my ancestors. Yeah, so you like to have all those curses, you know, that sent through time in DNA cleared now. Right. And how many of your aspects that still are blocking your career are still stuck in the lower astrals and need liberating? Are there any of your aspects stuck in the lower astral that need liberating? So we like to have those brought now to the ascension temples, you know, and given help in ascension. All right. And now make sure, you know, you smile and affirm. And breathe strongly. I suggest you breathe very strongly and smile and nod your head in agreement. So we ask our spirit guides and the most powerful dragon of love and light that are assisting us to spin everything in us, you know, in all the different systems in the life and light affirming direction now. Amen, amen, amen. And while this is going on, also clear any connections and intrusions from false light realities and also from shadow realms all the way to our highest soul aspects, and also clear our ancestral body and bodies. Amen, amen, amen. And also please clear all entities that have attached to our trauma, to our wounds, curses, implants, you know, like flies on poo. Please clear those too. Also from our ancestors. Amen, amen, amen. And we also ask that any binding devices, like shackles, you know, that prevent you from moving forward, also vows, you know, of giving your power away, or to be subservient to somebody, or contracts, you know, or technology and AI influences, you know, and any other interferences that can be cleared now without us having to personally witness it. We like to have those cleared now. Cleared our path, you know, cleared from all the resistances that are not necessary. And then also please clear any karmic residue, leftovers that are stuck anywhere in our personal grids, in other planetary grids, in our light bodies and grid systems. Amen, amen, amen. And on top of it, please open and guard the portals through which we can receive our support, strength, and guidance to manifest our career that we incarnated to manifest. Amen, amen, amen. And also, as we are with it, let's start liberating our soul fragments that are still stuck in creation, especially the dark ones on the dark side that affect our career in a bad way. Amen, amen, amen. And also bring our energies that have been scattered or are still stuck with people, places, or projects, and not being used for the highest good anymore. Bring them back to us and integrate them into our bodies, into our body, mind, and spirit complex, and also into our career, and have us fully grounded back into our bodies. Amen. And now you start becoming aware of your body again. Start wiggling your toes, your fingertips. You become aware of your spine. You become aware of your womb. And of course, if you're laying down and wanted to go to sleep, you have a wonderful deep sleep now, maybe with astral projections, where you're being, sent to some beautiful holidays, for rest and recreation and updates. Otherwise, all the energies come back to you now. Ground into your body. Filling your limbs with love. Filling your organs with love. And 1, 2, 3, you're fully grounded now. Back in waking day consciousness again. Welcome back now. So take it easy. Drink some water, drink a lot of water. Don't drive. Be introspective. Maybe contemplate, what happened. Go over it again in your mind. And if you like to share, share it, in the comments below. I read all the comments and will answer questions. Also give me a thumbs up, for this work I'm doing, and this will also help, spread the message to others. Of course, turn on your friends to this. And, if you hang on into the video here, at the end, we have a lot of titles, that might pique your interest, may be helpful for you. So if you're new to my material, just let, this affect you, see what resonates with you and what does not, and then, you will find them on my channel. And as always, I give personal sessions, one-on-one sessions on Zoom. My prices are very, very reasonable, and I'm quite successful with what I'm doing. And as always, I love you long time. Namaste.